Cinco de Mayo, amigos. At this time, I would like City Clerk, please, Beth Cecil, to please call the roll. Unmute your mic.
Commissioner Jeff Sanford,
Here.
Commissioner Larry Conder,
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Larry Magliner,
Here.
Commissioner Pam Smithwright.
Here.
Thank you, Beth. At this time, we'll have the invocation. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Commissioner Pam Smithwright, would you please lead us in prayer?
Thank you, Mayor. Would you please bow and pray with me? Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Dear Lord, here we are again, thanking you for another day. Even in this pandemic, you have kept us. We are thankful for your love and your mercy toward us. Lord, our hearts go out to those who have lost loved ones to this terrible virus, and our prayers are with those who are in hospitals and home fighting the virus. Dear Lord, please give us a sound mind so that we think of others during this time, and that we should be mindful of how we interact with others until this pandemic is under control. We pray for our veterans wherever they may be, and also for our first responders and all those who put themselves on the line for us. Hospital workers, from the doctors to the janitors, grocery store workers, and all those who are trying to make our lives as normal as possible in an unnormal world. We ask these and all things in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes,
Item
sir.
4 on the agenda is the business. Item 4A, consider approval of minutes dated March 17 and March 18, 2020. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, as all votes tonight will be roll call. So, City Clerk Beth Cecil.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 4B, we're going to consider some appointments. The Wesleyan Shawnee Neighborhood Alliance reappoint Benny Harrell and Judy Harrell to a 2-year term effective April 19, 2020. The Civil Service Commission appoint Joe Bowen and Joanne Kendall to 3-year terms effective April the 8th, 2020. Audubon Bon Harbor Neighborhood Alliance appoint Vicki Carey to a 2-year term effective May the 5th, 2020. The Owensboro Davis County Building Code Appeals Board appoint Byron Westerfield to a 4-year term effective May 7, 2020. And the Historic Preservation Board reappoint Ed Allen to a 3-year term effective May 17, 2020, and appoint Aaron Kaiser to a 3-year term effective May 17, 2020. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford.
Yes.
Carries unanimously. Item 5 is municipal orders. Ask council to read the order, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Municipal Order 9-2020, a municipal order approving the 2020 through 2025 Consolidated Plan, 2020 through 2021 Annual Action Plan, and the Northwest Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area Plan for Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Funds prepared by the Community Development Department and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the same. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 5th day of May, 2020.
Could I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. City Manager, do you have any comments?
I do, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
At the March work session, Community Development Director Abby Shelton presented a plan for the Northwest Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area, or NSRA as we sometimes call it. Consistent with our presentation then, this municipal order includes 2025 to 2020 to 2025 Consolidated Plan, 2021 Action Plan, and the Northwest Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area, and identifies the methods in which we will spend the next 5 years of CDBG and home partnership federal funds. Our entitlement allocations for this year include $499,972 in CDBG funds and $266,184 in home funds. With this funding, we will carry out programming mainly within the Northwest NRSA, including programs such as homeowner exterior rehabilitation, rental rehabilitation, new home construction, down payment assistance, downspout removal, beautification projects, and safety improvements. In addition to our annual allocation, the city received $294,117 for coronavirus aid, relief, and Economic Security Act funding, also known as CARES Act funding. This funding will be used to implement the small business and rental assistance programs to qualifying low-income applicants. All of the aforementioned programming is included in the documents before you for your consideration. After approval by the commission, the programs will be submitted to HUD for their review and approval. At this time, HUD is working to execute grant agreements for both sets of funding. That is the typical annual funding and the CARES Act funding. Once the agreements are fully executed, we will be able to release the CDBG CARES Act funding to eligible applicants. Community Development Director Abby Shelton is available if you have specific questions.
Thank you. That wasn't a plan. That was an encyclopedia that I saw on my desk, wasn't it? That she brought up there. Any other discussion, Ms. Shelton? Do you have anything you'd like to add? You can unmute your mic and say no. No?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other discussion from any of the commission?
Just one question, Mayor.
Sure, Jeff.
When will the funds be available? Will that be starting July 1st of this new calendar year for us?
Well, I can let Ms. Shelton tell you, but I think HUD's got the control of that, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir. When this is approved, I'll submit this to HUD. They have to review it. And then after review, we'll get our contracts. Once that contract is signed, then we can start dispersing money. Now, the plans, since they're approved by you, will be able to start taking applications. And then once those applications roll through, they'll be ready to be funded upon receipt of those funds.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? As you can see over my shoulder, the census 2020. Everybody's keep talking that up. We're doing pretty well on it. Let's just keep moving forward. There's $676 billion that's going to be distributed to local communities. So we need to do the best we can to fill out those census. Okay, roll call, Ms. Cecil.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder.
Yes.
Thank you, unanimous. Item 5B, Counselor.
Municipal Order 10-2020, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to negotiate and execute a real estate purchase and sale agreement for the acquisition of property owned by the St. Paul AME Church located at 620 Elm Street. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 5th day of May, 2020.
Thank you, sir. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second?
City Manager, do you have any comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This municipal order authorizes the acquisition of property at 620 Elm Street. We will use federal home funds to purchase the property. The property will be divided into 2 lots. One lot will be transferred to Habitat for Humanity for a habitat project. The Community Development Department will retain the other lot for a new low-income home we will build. All funding used by the city on these projects will be federal funding.
Thank you. Any other comments, please? Don't forget about
Yes.
the Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright.
Thank you. Mayor, who are we purchasing this property from since the church is now disbanded?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Steve?
I do not have the deed in front of me, but there was a board of trustees, I believe, that signed
That's correct.
when we had that. I apologize that I don't have this here. I can try to track that down very quickly if you need me to.
No, it's okay. I just know that church real well, and I knew that they had disbanded and their members have all scattered and gone to other places. And I was just, curious as to who was the person that was selling it.
Yes, that was who I recall being on the deed that we that worked
Okay.
up there.
Thank you.
Is that satisfactory for you, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other discussion? I guess we'll have roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, item 5C, Counselor.
Municipal Order 11-2020, a municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute an application for a $50,000 Livable Communities grant to the AARP for the purpose of funding public art murals in the downtown. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 5th day of May 2020.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager, you have any comments?
I do.
Okay.
Several months ago, the city and county were designated as livable communities, a recognition program administered by AARP. Participation in the Livable Communities program makes us eligible to apply for grants they offer. This municipal order authorizes a $50,000 grant application to be used for 4 downtown art projects. Additional downtown murals were a recommendation from the OBKY project, and we've been trying to do a couple of murals a year, and this grant would help speed up the implementation of additional murals. The murals will be a partnership with the local art guild and downtown property owners. No match is required for this grant.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yo.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous. Item 5D, Council.
Municipal Order 12-2020, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an application for a fiscal year 2020 competitive grant through the Kentucky 911 Service Boards in an approximate amount not to exceed $130,000, the proceeds of which will be utilized by the city of Owensboro to purchase console furniture for use by the Owensboro-Davis County Centralized 911 Communications Center, a 10% match being required by the city. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 5th day of May 2020.
Thank you, sir. Could I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion?
Could I have a second?
Second.
City Manager, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just briefly, Mayor.
Have at it.
Okay, this is yet another grant application, this time a $130,000 grant for new console furniture and central dispatch. The current dispatch furniture was original to when City County consolidated dispatch more than a decade ago. Of course, that facility operates 24/7, 365 days a week, so it does get heavily utilized. This grant has a 10% match. If successful, it would be the next fiscal year before the project proceeds, so we would make the matching funds available in next year's budget. And like all dispatch expenses, it will be split with the county based on our pro rata share of call volume.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please, Ms. Cecil. Roll call.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 6, City Manager items. 6A, City Manager.
Yes, sir, Mayor. If you would please acknowledge Angela Hamrick for the February and March financial reports.
It would be my pleasure to acknowledge Angela Hamrick.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Mayor and Commission, I'm here to give you the report for the month of March. You'll find in your packet, I'm going to be referencing page 3 as we go through these graphs that I'm about to put up on the screen here. Okay, as you'll see here in the first slide, for the month of March 2020 actual revenues of $3,197,026, less than budgeted revenues of $3,445,578. This variance is primarily due to the anticipated and budgeted transfer of property tax and occupational tax revenue, as well as net profit, into our TIF fund. These funds will be used to pay for TIF-approved expenditures, such as debt service and city projects. Our second slide is the general fund revenues. Is that right? General fund revenue. Yeah. For the 9 months ended March 2020, our total actual revenues of $46,031,186 exceeded our budgeted revenues of $44,435,517. This gives us a positive variance of $1,595,669. This variance is primarily due to higher occupational payroll withholdings, net profit license fees, and it's offset by lower property taxes. The lower property taxes are mostly due to lower bank shares than what was budgeted and timing intangible property tax.
Thank you.
Our
I'll
next, oh, I'm sorry, I've got
Go ahead.
3 more
I'm
slides,
sorry.
Mayor. I'm just a little slow. Our slide 3, in the month of March 2020, this is expenditures for the month of $3,911,465. You can see that they're less than the budgeted expenditures of $4,090,432 for a variance of $178,967. This is primarily due to savings in personnel services, maintenance and supplies, and agency funding, offset by the city's contribution to the Green River Area COVID-19 Response Fund. Our next slide is for the 9 months ended 2020. Our actual expenditures of $40,935,036 were less than budgeted expenditures of $43,363,383 for a favorable variance of $2,428,347. This variance is primarily due to timing in various areas such as street work, supplies, and outside services. And our final slide, as you can see on our chart, and this is the slide that really doesn't change from month to month other than adding the current most recent month. As you can see, the city's revenues and expenditures are cyclical. The green line is the revenues, the red line is our expenses. And what I mean by cyclical is that our expenses exceed revenues in the warmer months when street and grounds maintenance and parks are in full swing. Likewise, there are months that have revenues, such as October. As you can see, the green line is much higher in November due to collection of real and personal property taxes. In April, typically, in a typical year, that month will be higher due to collection of our net profit taxes. And I will add to that we, according to our records, it looks like approximately 40% of our taxpayers chose to take advantage of that extended filing timeline. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Any questions from the?
Mayor Watson, if I could, please.
Sure.
Ms. Hamrick, just curious in looking at the numbers as we've seen historically that we've done so well over the last 3 years, especially, and with a hot economy that we have, has there been a lot, and I'm sure there has been a lot of consideration of how your graph may move differently in the next 6 months? And if so, can you speculate even what might happen considering what's happening today?
Well, we are, okay. Thanks. Little IT instruction there. Yeah, as far as forecasting, Commissioner, that we are working on that diligently. And it seems to change month to month and sometimes week to week based on announcements that are made both by our president as well as our governor and the businesses in our local area. So it is something that we are working on, and we do not have our April revenues in yet. I think that when we get that information, that will be key as far as progressing forward in any forecasting that we're doing. But the best I can say right now is that we're diligently working on that forecast, which then will roll into our budgeted revenues.
A whole lot of science, a little bit of art in order to try to do this. Because if you look at your first page of unemployment numbers in our area, March ended up being around what, 5.4%, where it had been less than 4% for a long period of time.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct, Commissioner. Yeah, for March, in fact, we're for Davis County, we're looking at 5.2 unemployment. And it's funny you'd ask, because I just happened to think that question might come up. So I looked at this time last year, and our unemployment was right at 4%, but we had experienced unemployment as low as 3.3 in recent months.
Thank you, Angela. As always, excellent work. It's just fantastic, all the work that you're doing. Thank you very much, Mayor.
You're welcome, Commissioner Conder. I was hoping that bottom curve was the COVID curve and we'd flatten it out.
That'd be a good COVID curve.
But
that's a great comment.
okay, I'll make a motion. Can I make a motion now, Ms. Hamrick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion to file for report for audit, please. Could I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? I only have one question. How does the unemployment boost for a lot of $15 an hour workers that ended up making, maybe $24 an hour with their unemployment check? Does that figure into it at all in your figures for occupational license fee, or is that just a gift?
Actually, unemployment, there's federal and state taxes paid on unemployment, but the city does not get occupational tax on that unemployment. So fortunately, it seems in our area, those that have been laid off, that places like Walmart and places are picking up in their employment and picking up some of those unemployed people. So the hit has not been quite as hard on us from that standpoint. Also, I might add that our city is very diverse. I'm seeing it now as I speak with my fellow finance directors in surrounding cities. Owensboro is not experiencing unemployment the same to the extent as our fellow cities. And I've seen that in years past when we had a recession, Owensboro fared way better than other cities. So we're very fortunate to have that diverse economy and the structure that we have. So I'm hopeful that carries us through.
Yeah, I mentioned that on an interview the other day, that some communities have one big industry that's got 5,000 people working for them. When they shut down, it destroys them. And our economy is so diverse, and we've got manufacturing and ag and business, and it's really helpful when it comes through these times like this that it doesn't get popped real bad. So great job again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Cecil?
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Cecil. Item 6B, consider personnel appointments. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have the following personnel appointments for your consideration. David Crisp, probationary full-time service appointment to road worker with the street department effective May 11th. Nathan Mitchell, probationary full-time non-civil service appointment to laborer maintenance helper with the street and stormwater department effective May 11th. Chad Gilbert and Derek Griffith, regular full-time non-civil service appointments to police officer effective April 15th. And Thomas Clark, regular full-time non-civil service appointment to construction inspector with engineering effective May 12th.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank those guys for joining the family. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Cecil.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Magliner,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 6C, City Manager comments, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of comments tonight. As you know, we rolled out our small business and rental assistance programs related to COVID efforts on behalf of the community. And through 2 days, we have received 105 applications for the rental assistance program, 137 applications for the small business program. So happy to see that the programs are being heavily utilized, which was, of course, what we hoped in rolling out the programs. Other comment is just to publicly acknowledge the city employees. Obviously, the last few weeks for us have been very difficult, but the employees have really done our community proud. They've responded to every challenge, and so I just wanted to publicly acknowledge them and thank them for their efforts over these last few weeks.
So did we furlough anybody from the city manager?
We did not.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Got a good team here. Any other comments, sir?
That's it.
Okay, communication from elected officials. Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you to all the healthcare workers, all the city employees that are coming into the office every day. And I just want people to be more concerned about others than yourself sometimes. All of this still not distancing yourselves, and it doesn't do anything but hurt the entire community. And I would ask us all to just be more courteous and more considerate of others. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
You're sure welcome. Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're
Just a comment about everyone being at the ready to open back up, to be able to go to hopefully family gatherings in church. Small businesses are going to be counting on us to be able to come and support them, especially whenever everything gets open back up. I can tell you this, I believe in us. I believe in us every day. I hope that everyone stays safe, stays healthy, and make sure that you, when we do open up, that you care for one another even more. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Mayor Pro Tem Maglinger.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the city staff and all the departments that are keeping our city operating and safe during these times that we've never had before. So thank you, and please everyone stay healthy, and remember brighter times are ahead. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Commissioner Sanford.
Yes, sir. Just a few things. You know, these times that we've been going through are very different. None of us have ever experienced anything like this. Talking to my dad, who's 84, you know, he was talking to me about World War II and how they couldn't get his flour, sugar, and things that they had to do, and they had to go through this stuff for 4 years. And you know, we're going to get through this. It's tough times, but you know, I have now noticed some things just through the community that on the bright side, I've seen families together. I've seen friends, and I've seen neighbors. I've seen people out walking. I've seen some positive things too. People spending time together and slowing down just a second to, you know, really think what's important in life. You know, it won't be too long. We'll get back to some normalcy, and I think it's going to be very critical when we do is we support our small businesses here in town. You know, they're our friends, they're our neighbors, they're people that we know, and I think it's going to be very important that we really help these guys out the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to first and foremost thank our IT guys for putting this thing together, because it would have been awful if we hadn't had Jeff and Chris up here to try and help us. So I want to thank them for that. I want to also let you know that we do a COVID-19 weekly Zoom, Facebook Live thing with the Green River District Health, with Emergency Management Group, Dr. Dufresne from OH Hospital. It's really informative, and you can get a lot of answers for some of the constituents that are asking you questions from this. It's done usually on Thursday night. City Manager Nate Pagan does an awesome job of telling us what the city's doing, and I recommend that you try and tune in. It's usually about an hour, but there's some really good information. And if you're getting these statistics from Green River District Health, and I have to tell you, Clay Horton is a champ. He has just responded in unbelievable ways. I was texting him Sunday about some issues with beauty shops, and he knew right away that the cosmetology board in Frankfurt will be putting out the regulations for that. And so he's done a great job, and Andy Ball's put that together, and Dr. Dufresne he's got 2 little twins at home. I guess that's a funny way of saying that. He's got a set of twins at home, and he doesn't see them in the morning when they wake up, and he doesn't see them at night when they go home. So he's doing a fabulous job of keeping us informed of what's going on at the hospital. I've been in contact with Attorney General Daniel Cameron, asking him to define what is a recommendation and what is a law, because we get these recommendations from Frankfurt that sometimes don't fit our needs. And so I'm constantly talking with him about that, and he's actually called me 2 or 3 times and say, well, what about this? How does that affect your community? So it's great to have access to the Attorney General during this. New term now, instead of social distancing, we're supposed to use physical distancing, whatever that's supposed to mean. But that's what they're starting to use now, is physical distancing. The consumers that I've talked about, there's a big issue with our small businesses, and I've talked with multiple restaurant owners and small businesses, because with this unemployment check that boosted their salaries from $15 to $24 an hour, not only they're struggling to see about capacity, they're also going to be struggling to see if they can get employees back to work, because they'll be coming in at a little less salary than what they were getting for free. So that is a problem. So keep those folks in mind. Try and do some curbside food. My wife, Barbara, she handles stress with comfort cooking. I can't tell you how many unbelievable meals I've had in the last 3 weeks. She handles her stress with comfort cooking. So keep these small businesses in mind. I have asked the city manager to look at the possibility, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead, of seeing a way if we can, since we close these streets downtown during barbecue festivals and car shows and all that stuff, if we could maybe make it to where the restaurants and other businesses could kind of pour out into the street and open up more capacity for them to sell their products. Because at 25% capacity for most of the restaurants, you won't be able to make payroll. So we're looking at a way, and I'm sure their staff is all over that, and I'm thankful that we may have an opportunity to try and give them a little more capacity, and therefore give them a little bit more opportunity to make payroll. So just keep plugging, one day closer to whooping this thing. I believe that when we all put in the same amount of time and all put in the same effort, don't forget to fill out your census 2020. I'm begging you, because it's very, very important for social programs in our community to get our share of that 500, God bless you, Nate, $676 billion will be distributed across America, and we would like to have our share. So thank you all very much for attending tonight, and I appreciate you. So at this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Could I have a second, please?
So moved.
Anybody that wants to stay is welcome, but this meeting's adjourned.
Happy Cinco.
There you go, guys. Team OBKY right there.